once again back in Changi Airport, this time flying to Frankfurt on Lufthansa. So I didn't want to film this portion. I wanted to do a trip report for the last part of the trip from Frankfurt to Singapore. I decided to film this portion as I really couldn't wait to start filming, and there are a lot of videos coming away from this huge trip. So anyway, this is a trip report on Lufthansa from Frankfurt to Singapore, and I just checked in all online. The Lufthansa app, I'm just going to show it to you very quickly, is actually really efficient. I managed to check everything in here and actually have my boarding passes and everything all done here. So there's a really efficient way to check in, that you can see over here, and all the way towards London. I'm stopping over at Frankfurt, but I'll be filming this because I'm boarding a very special aircraft, which I have never flown before, and that is the 747-8, and of course I am really excited and stoked for it. So just as I actually deposited my baggages, there were QR codes and there were also receipts, or rather notifications, that will actually pop up and inform me that my baggage has been deposited. Alright, so on the topic of in-flight Wi-Fi, that has been becoming increasingly popular on airlines. It's not complimentary on Lufthansa, but you actually need an app called the Skynet to show me the various packages I can purchase. Let's say flying from Singapore to Frankfurt. From what I did there, so 25 euros, which is around 37 Singapore dollars for the whole entire flight premium, which I think is not too bad. I just flew on ANA last week. They did provide complimentary texting and messaging, so this was actually complimentary on a 7-hour flight. But in this case, take into account the fact that it is a 13.5-hour flight or around there, I would definitely pay the full $37 Singapore dollars, 25 euros, just to be able to access the internet on this flight over here. So as a whole, the check-in process and dropping off the bags have been really very smooth. The allowance for baggage is 23 kilos, which is in line with many other airlines, same as ANA as I've flown on. I believe SQ may offer more, I'm not too sure, Singapore Airlines. And I'm actually going to be flying in very soon, so do stay tuned for that video from Seoul to Singapore actually. Right, before I board, there's one thing I didn't manage to show, as it was always closed every time I come here, and that is actually the lot, I don't know, duty free. There's a machine that actually brews your drinks. Basically, a bartender, a robotic bartender. No, I think this was actually a pilot with some Italian company from the research I did, which is pretty interesting to have at an airport, especially before flying off. People that want to have a quick drink and not sit at the bar or not purchase anything from duty free, and just get a quick one. Alright, so now let's head back into the objective of this video, which is the 747-8 on Lufthansa. Now we'll be heading to the boarding gate to board very shortly. Right now we're at the gate, so there's centralized security, and I'll see you on the other side. Well, while waiting for boarding to commence, we can just look at the aircraft flying on today. So it's 10 years old, Boeing 747-8. It's not the newly repainted one, it's the older one. So that's, yeah, I know the newly repainted one does not have that yellow and blue. It is black and white and blue, if I'm not wrong.
We kindly ask families with babies or children up to the
finally
age
at
of
11:25,
passengers with reduced
roughly
mobility and passengers
10
with
minutes
boarding
after
group
boarding.
PRE to proceed for boarding. We kindly ask all other passengers for their patience until your boarding
Not too bad,
group
just
is
10
called.
minutes late only.
We wish you a pleasant flight.
Alright, now we see the 747-8 over there. What a huge aircraft. We're boarding through the front, so we'll walk towards the back because I booked seat number 31, which is towards the back, 31K. As you can see over here, we should be walking through there. Hello.
Okay, second one to the right.
Oh, what a huge aircraft here. Stairs over here. We got the business class. The harbor right there. Business class. Pretty happy and smiling crew. Business class, this is huge. Of course, comes at a huge price as well. Your premium economy product right here. We can see the ceiling is so much higher as it normally is on a 787 on A320 aircraft. The legroom does seem a little open. Alright, after settling to the seat, let's do a seat review after the captain delivers his address. Alright, so on the seat review, you have a very little small TV here. I mean, smaller than other airlines for 747-8. I mean, I'm just pretty excited to be on a 747-8. But the seatbelt here, which is pretty interesting, let me just show it to you. I was very confused myself using it. It's different from your regular buckle. You have your remote control over here, your crew call button, the standard one. You have cup holder, a table here, which it's very tough, very anchored very nicely over here. Right. I think I really like the cup holder because not many airlines do have this. The 787-8 doesn't have it, but the 777-300 does have it. You have the entertainment system box right here. You ask where you charge your phone. You do have an international socket over here. Let me just show it to you. I hope you're able to see that right there. You are unable to move this. Oh, you are able to move this in case they recline. Person in front of you reclines the seat. Yeah, and this is actually really very small for some reason. There is no leg rest like on other aircraft. Okay, that's alright with me then. Let me just take a look. Yes, we do have some pajamas over here. I'm guessing it looks like some pajamas, not blankets, which are interesting. And you have your pillow here, which is actually more comfortable and actually very soft. Pretty nice as well. And the windows, I don't know how big, what the size, pretty nice over here. Landing and takeoff shots. And you have a pretty good view here of Singapore control tower and the wing, and you see the two engines right below there. There's one more feature, the leg room. If I do not have anything back here which I put in the overhead compartment, it's just nice. This is kind of fair, but okay. Around slightly more than my hand here, I'm about 1.77 meters. I'm not overestimating my height, this is around there. I really feel short next to an average German. Yeah, there's another observation of the crew. The male flight attendants do look like the pilots themselves. They seem to be wearing pretty professional uniforms, almost like that of a pilot, which is really interesting. Oh, these earphones, I thought they're handing out some refreshments. There's an earphone jack somewhere, I believe. We'll figure that out later on. Okay, I guess my first issue that I have encountered is the entertainment system. I read online that it is really slow, and lo and behold, it is really slow. Just look at this. Just clicking OK, and what's going on? There's nothing happening over here. Trying it again, and there's nothing going through over here. Okay, the 4 engines starting up over here. So I'm going to be trying to get in. I have a voucher here that, let's see if it loads and how I'm supposed to get the Wi-Fi. Okay, so redeem. Then start surfing. Alright, so we got the Wi-Fi Wi-Fi on the onboard and it's secured for the next 13 hours. Okay, so here's the food I ordered, which is a Hindu meal. So they actually served us a chicken masala, if I'm not wrong, a chicken tikka masala, and afterwards you have like a potato dish, something similar to it's like a mashed potato but an Indian version. And then you have your fruits and you have a bread roll with butter, and I believe that there was they gave quite a bit of water as well, and there was a mango salad in it as well. Well, onto the topic of inclusivity, Lufthansa does really offer quite a number of special meals to cater to different religions and groups of customers that also board the aircraft, which is really good and impressive for an airline that flies to that many destinations to offer. And they also do serve the special meals before the main meals that they offer on the menu. So let me just show you the main one, this is the Szechuan noodle. So likewise, you have a bread roll, you have some dessert over there, something like a cake, some sort of cream cake. Yeah, and pretty similar, but my parents did say the noodles weren't really that good. The Szechuan noodles in chili oil. So I definitely didn't regret my decision ordering the Hindu meal, as it was actually really good and really authentic. Lufthansa is also pretty generous with the drinks, so I actually ordered a red wine and subsequently had ginger ale. So they kept coming around to give us drinks or ask whether we wanted coffee, tea or anything. So that was a really nice gesture that I experienced on the flight. Alright, let me just offer you a tour of the lavatory on board the 747-8. So it was definitely a bit more roomy than other aircraft that I've been on. There was actually enough space to stand and stretch. The ceiling was pretty high. I mean, other than that, there's nothing else to say. It's pretty standard. It was clean. Well, everything else that you would expect of a regular aircraft lavatory. Yeah, and I can't normally do this on other aircraft. I can extend my arm, just like literally one arm length, and I still wouldn't hit the wall. So yeah, it's good to stretch and just stand around, especially on such a long 13.5-hour flight. After about 7 hours, I'm glad I actually did manage to get some sleep. My advice is that you definitely should get a neck pillow, as a neck pillow was really a life changer and a lifesaver essentially. And it really helped me to sleep for about 7 hours before we reached Dubai, as you can see on Flight Radar 24. Really nice views of Dubai, but I was sitting on the right side, I couldn't see the Burj Khalifa. I only saw the area on the right of Dubai Airport, the Sharjah region. At this point, it was 2 hours and 10 minutes before landing, and they slowly started turning on the lights after that to serve breakfast. It was really a red-eye flight, as you departed at night and you arrived at 6 in the morning, and in winter in Germany it's still pitch black outside. So you can just see that we are nearing German airspace according to the map. This is what was working on the TV, so I was just on that for the whole 13 hours, apart from using my phone. And we have certainly flown quite a long and huge distance, the longest flight I've actually taken. Literally 10 minutes later, they came around with a hot towel service and started serving breakfast. So they also served me a Hindu meal breakfast. Let me just show you how it looks like. So just as we crossed the Black Sea, they started serving breakfast, and I got a pretty good breakfast. I got served roti prata, or in other areas you call it parota. It was a bit soggy, but I didn't mind it. So parota, and we had chicken curry to go with it, which was definitely the best pairing for parota, as we normally have roti prata with chicken curry or fish curry in Singapore. So that's completely fine and acceptable. We also had a bread roll, a lot of carbs there, and some butter as well. And I believe some yogurt, strawberry yogurt, pretty good. So all the meals so far have been really decent, and I did not regret ordering the Hindu meal for sure. You can even hear me exclaiming to the camera right after this. Definitely really satisfied with this meal, and really satisfied with the food of the airline, and the seat isn't too bad, so just the entertainment system and the power sockets are lackluster.
I can report that we're already over Germany and about to begin our descent into Frankfurt. We expect to be touching down in about 40 minutes.
As the video comes to an end, I'll just be delivering my closing remarks. So as a whole, it was a really pleasant flight. I mean, in spite of the entertainment system, the Wi-Fi made up for it, as the Wi-Fi was really good. It was pretty strong actually. The seat wasn't the best, but the neck pillow also made up for it. So regardless of what happened, there was something that sort of made up for it. But of course, being a full service carrier, you would expect there to be a good entertainment system and a good seat, especially since you're going to be going on and on for 13.5 hours non-stop. You would want to have those there. With regards to the crew and the food, I definitely have no complaints there. The food was really on point. The crew were all really friendly and really attentive, so I was really glad to see that and experience this flight on the 747. Well, since I'm editing this after I came back from the whole trip, the flight back was equally as good, but even better, because half the flight was during the day. So we flew over the Himalayas. Let me just show you the video over here. So you can just see how majestic it was flying over. I think it's before the Himalayas, right over, I believe it was Tajikistan, and turning down towards Pakistan and then India. So that was the view coming back. So the flight coming back was definitely more scenic, but irregardless, the experience on both flights were equally the same and rather pleasant. For the price point, it is definitely one of the more worth it ones, as other airlines will be charging a few hundred more or even up to 1,000 more in the case of Singapore Airlines to London. So really glad to be on Lufthansa for this leg of the trip. Alright, this concludes part 1 on my series on my trips to the UK and Norway. So do stay tuned for part 2, which will be on my experience in London for the first time as a tourist. So that will be coming out a week after this if you are watching on the day of the premiere. So do look forward to that, and do click the subscribe button down below if it's still red for you, or if you haven't done so. So I shall see you in the next one. That's it for part 1 of the series, and I shall see you in part 2 in London.